Earlier, Dariel was expelled for being the weakest in the Demon King's army. On his travels he saves Marika. Marika takes him to her village. He revealed that he had been human all a long time. Dariel joins the village's adventurers guild, where it is revealed that he is perfectly suited for all human combat styles. With his second life and newfound powers, he seeks to help the village by completing quests while leveling up. The story continues when Dariel is surprised when his bruised father, Gran Baza, confronts his nemesis, and Lancel wastes no time in twirling his wand, poised to attack, asking why the former Grass King is around. Takes a fighting stance. Everyone watches anxiously, until a dash of derision appears between them, asking them to wait. Lancel tells him to get out of the way. The chief now drops the bombshell that Lancel is still his biological father, but Grand Baza explains that it is working again who raised her since she was a child, so trying to talk to her, the former hero drops her guard. Dariel, her adopted father, only recently found out about her relationship with Lancel, but he has known for some time. He started to suspect that Dariel was human when he couldn't use magic when he was 5 years old, so he did his research, and it led him to this conclusion. But he still couldn't let go of her, and he regretted it because this taunt tells Grand Baza that not only did he raise him well, but he was always there to support him, like giving him his assistant job, which gave him a sense of satisfaction that he wasn't his biological parent. For never felt unhappy. He couldn't pay back even if he tried. Grand Baza said something he gave him cause the irreplaceable Darien to strive to be stronger. Dario could only be called the strongest by looking at him. Everyone is shocked when the chief hugs his adopted son, his pride and treasure, and Dariel returns the hug. Alansa listens to their exchange, and throws her staff away in anger. The time she spends with Dariel, she is the great bull. He says that he spoke with love. He blames himself for allowing him to grow stronger because of the bond he formed with his son. Instead, what made him stronger was his anger and hatred. His body is still angry at the thought of the time lost with him, even though his son is alive, because he will never get it back. He asks them how to live with this hatred in their hearts. Grand Baza step forward in creating a polygon that he doesn't need him, and that he can handle it all. The former Fire King admits that the former Water King's extermination of Atlanta's family was a despicable act, and he's ready to take responsibility for his colleagues' mistakes before they even begin. The Grand Baza revealed his intention to return Dariel to the Demon King's army, but from what he saw, that might not be possible, but wanted him to have a happy life with his real father. It was supposed to end in a final showdown with Grand Baza, with both fathers releasing their auras to fight. As Dariel finds himself on the first pitch, trying to figure out how he's doing. He is in a difficult position to stop them, because if he does, it would be disrespectful to the Grand Baza's decision to cover up what happened. He also has no right to stop Lancel from taking revenge, because they look at each other and Marika jumps and throws between them. The water that stops them falls like drops. It cools them down. He asks them to leave the beef. He doesn't know the situation, but he doesn't want his grandchildren to see the ugliness of fighting with hatred. To old-timers watch on as she shows them Bran. Dariel smiles, amazed that the two greatest heroes in history are his. His son's grandparents show the chief how to solve this problem thanks to Marika's action, who first turns to the Grand Baza, asking him to live if he wants him to be happy, then turns to Lancel and as a parent admits that his time may not return, but as a grandfather, he can spend some time with Gran, an offer that lights up his face, because Mello's solution is hatred. He thinks of the time when the youngster held his grandson. The chief thanks his wife for showing him, and informs him happy to be married to him. He becomes shy as he uses his beastly strength to embrace her, nearly breaking his back at the Demon King's residence. Being the eldest of the 4 generals, he opens the door to find a place at the party, and immediately before the house asks where everyone is, and wonders if they are late. The servant respectfully tell no one is coming to him because everyone has rejected his offer. The boss and his bird look at him. The front of the house is confused, and he continues to explain that his father went to the Demon King and begged him to dismiss him. The servant bluntly tells him that the Demon King's army is falling apart because of him, that his blunder of making the humans lose their mithril mines was bad, but that everyone from civilians to demi-humans has lost faith in the army. That won't happen. Rebuilding broken trust is an easy feat. Boss Abaza explains that he has finally perfected the hero by finding a secret way of defeating the front of the house, insists that it is too late as the empty hall should be proof enough after being asked. He tells Base Abaza that if Doriel is around he could change things. He sits down and orders a drink, but one of the servers nervously refuses because he hasn't been paid on his tab, and since he seems to have been kicked out of the 4 generals, they don't want to increase his tab even more, say the server. The reason he was allowed a bit was because Dariel ran it because he heard his name. Again Bashabasa gets angry, so he releases a powerful blast that knocks the server back, and he bursts out of the flames angry at the disrespect to his name, and promises to regret it all as he shows off his newfound power. Gives at the two do an old times 180, intending to end their adopted brother's permanent retreat to Loki's village, and play with their grandson. Dariel smiles, as Lancel compliments Gran on some of his physical attributes and intelligence. When he was young, he hopes to become a hero like his father in the future. King notices everything and taunts him again, pointing out that Gran's name was inspired by his name, and Lancel wants to change the boy's name, but in the process notices that Dariel will put him in grand bars, as the young boy starts to cry. So the former hero uses this as an opportunity to fire at Grand Baza, and tries to stop crying by dangling a cane in front of the boy, but it doesn't work as Marika takes her son to change his diaper. Leads Dariel calls Rizit on the magic device we were calling the phone. Gran wants to talk to him when he hears it pick up on the phone. When the magic device is given, the baby complains that he was attacked by a bearded man. Grand Baza picks up the phone, and Rizit Grand interferes with Baza, threatens to deal with him and promises to deal with him on his return if he pretends to be a bearded man and has been nice to his grandson before his frightened visit. Baza crushes the phone. Marika brightens the mood when she announces that dinner is ready. All the youngsters sit at the same table, and the elders join them, but feeling out of place with such legends, Dariel comes over to pour them a drink. The boy trembles in fear since he's a normal guy among beasts. The two of them act hilariously, holding each other after a while, which leads to a chill time. Lancel gets a Grand Baza for raising Dariel to be a good guy. Officially thanks, offers his hand, which shocks the demon, but he shakes it off as the two smile. Dariel, displeased to see them in such a positive relationship, later brings dishes from the party and offers to help clean up. But his wife insists that he do it. Be careful. She sees that he is still suffering from injuries, so he takes her upstairs to rewrap her. In the comments, she would have punched Lancel for causing his man so much pain, but he is her mother-in-law. Marika comments on her ability to solve problems with kindness and how much she loves him before going back to clean up, leaving him a special treat and begging him to eat it before taking his medicine. Dariel struggles to eat jelly-like sweet and throws him away, but his enthusiasm caught him. He misunderstood the chief's speech when he fought with Lancel, because he confessed his love for her, which confused the young man. He saying that he would think about his answer and get back to her when he was alone in the wind. Dariel laughs that it's fun teasing her. The next day the lady asks her master to train her. Dariel is surprised that after everything that happened, Dariel still continues his quest to defeat the Demon King. The hero's duty. Lancel explains that this quest to defeat the Demon King has a political purpose attached to it, in addition to the official narrative that it will bring an age of peace and plenty. The Demon King has great wisdom and power, so he believes that if the Central Guild is defeated, he can be stolen. The master plan is to transform humanity into a greater race. Thus, people will be able to use it even after its defeat. This immortal fact makes the lady think. Lancel tells him that he will stop going against him twice, because this is a fight started by human greed. The rest of the fights will continue even if he quits. So he decides to keep fighting, and make his final decision after seeing everything does with his own eyes. Dariel is glad that he, at least, wants to come to his answers instead of believing the hype, and their conversation is interrupted by a loud voice. Not Ishida. Dariel is surprised to see Fit by Tonaldi in such a panic. On the doorstep, he informs the Mithril mine that it is under attack by a monster, so he calls for immediate reinforcements. The chief orders Kashida to gather a squad and follow them. He uses his victory powers to defeat them. Baptized to lead to the tower. Mine. Mariko is watching anxiously. They set off. After a while they reach the mine, but the Zedians can't fly any closer because of the giant dragon spitting fire around the area, and when I say, spits fire, the heat appears. I don't want to say the lyrics. They haven't seen a monster like this before, so Gran suggests that it's better to land a barge, because it's too dangerous for them to approach like that. The other guards say there are no casualties away, but the knockers are still inside. Dariel decides to check on his little friends. As he does so, the Grand Baza tells him that he must contain the monster. That leads to the end of the episode.